Okay, well, I'm going to get going here. So as I said, we've got 186 people signed up. I'm going to give you a bit of an overview like we normally do on some things that are going on in the club and the Tesla world. And then we're going to go straight to our presenters, which are Pfaff Autoworks with their body shop. And they've got some really interesting things to show us tonight. So first thing we'll do is just remind you all that this is sort of an overview of what's happening with the club. So we have 742 members. I just checked, it's actually 744. 2 more people signed up tonight. And that's pretty good growth if you look from November. Even during COVID, we had close to 50 people sign up for the club, dues paying members. The Facebook group, 296, that is our the new official Facebook group. We're not really tracking what's going on in the non-official because we're not admitting anybody into that right now. So that's really grown. 296 people in the Facebook group. If you're not on there, it's a pretty good group for questions and answers and almost like a forum. Twitter is growing. Instagram is growing. One of the reasons I mentioned this is we actually have a small social media company helping us on social media. And they're the ones that are behind all the posts, of course, that we approve and help with content on that you see on the 3 or 4 different platforms. And I believe that a lot of the growth that we're seeing in membership is from social media. So when people sign up, we actually ask them to tell us how they heard about the club. And I see from Facebook, from Instagram, from Twitter, from sometimes Tesla Motors Club forum, through Tesla with our information postcards that are at the service centers, which is certainly working. So the club is growing despite COVID, and hopefully one of these days we've just come through a certainly interesting year. I don't need to reiterate what's going on, and we're in for a heck of a next couple months, but hopefully when we get into the summertime or the fall anyhow, we can get back together with some proper social functions like we've done in the past. What else have I got for you here? I'm just going to ramble a little bit, not too much. A lot of this you're probably aware of. If you're a Tesla owner and a Tesla fan, you probably followed a lot of the social media and online topics, but I thought I'd talk briefly about the full self-driving beta. There's lots of really cool videos out there with some people that now for the first time ever have been allowed to share videos of the full self-driving, and we can see it getting better and better as each iteration comes out. Now I can tell you, everybody's wondering when's it going to come to Canada? Elon promises that it's imminent. They may be waiting for regulatory approval, I'm not sure. Not all, but a lot of the people that are sharing it are actually club presidents with other clubs in the US. So maybe I'll get an early look at it when it gets in here to Canada. I'm not sure, but if you're interested, there's some really, really good videos out there. You're not going to see any really too many bad things because Tesla wants all the good stuff being shown. But have a look at that if you're not aware of it. Share price, again, don't need to dwell too much on that, but unbelievable. Who would have thought even after a split that'd be well up into the mid $800? Pretty amazing. So I just thought I'd mention that. Again, many of you may be aware of the Model Y SR, which rear-wheel drive that's just been announced, and the 7-seater, which is apparently not too far behind that. So that's come out, and we expect that to be physically available here in Canada just in a matter of weeks. Some of you saw in some of the emails we shared with you the last little while, they've actually got some inventory of Model Y and all the models. We try to help them with a bit of a test drive event and whatnot. And so Model Y is certainly cranking out there, and there's a good availability and quite a short waiting time, I think. The other thing I mentioned in the bottom, and this is very unofficial, Tesla will not comment on this to me, but I'm pretty confident that we can say that it looks like Tesla facility in London and a facility in Barrie are in the works. They're both taking over ex-dealerships. We believe the one in London is the old Porsche store, and the one in Barrie, which I think is still occupied by the current tenant, is the Infinity dealer. So that bodes well for people outside of the GTA for service, certainly right off the bat. And I'm going to guess, just like Kitchener, eventually deliveries and sales and that type of thing. But we'll just keep our eye on that for you. And again, have a look on social media, Twitter and whatnot. There's lots of updates on that type of thing. We've been talking about the face masks for a while. The reason I mentioned the face masks is you can see here, just to reiterate the newer people that may not be aware of this, and I do welcome anybody that's new to the club and hasn't been on one of our Zoom meetings. So welcome, and hopefully we can keep you interested and engaged. When we did our drive-in event back in the fall, which was very well attended as it has been in the past, everybody there got a mask. And then we put an effort together to mail a mask out to everybody else in the club. But rather than just mail them out and maybe get some return mail, we sent an email trying to confirm your address. At this point, 125 people have still not confirmed their address. So if you did not attend the drive-in event and you don't remember getting a communication from us to confirm your address, please send an email to marketing@teslamotorclub.ca to remind us that you don't have one yet and to confirm your address, and we'll send it out to you. Any new members who signed up after October the 5th, we are going to basically send those emails out as we do the membership package. And Megan, that works with me, is working through those right now, where you'll get your lanyard and your name tag and the pen and the window decal and now the mask. So those will be coming out as people sign up. And we're going to have questions and answers as we go through this. I'll remind you here in a minute. So if you have questions for me and any other people in the club, as well as Pfaff, please use a Pigeonhole, which we're going to show you in a minute, to ask questions. There's an idea what the mask looks like. We've had many people convey to us that they really like the mask. They fit very well. It comes with a filter, the adjustable strap. It probably will shrink a little bit when it's been washed, but I find once you just stretch it a little bit, it gets right back into shape, and we're getting some really good feedback on the mask. So we're glad we were able to share those with you. Just another little recap, and some of you probably saw our email we did about this. We also did a little video interview that we put up, sent out to you. We had a very, very successful TOCO fundraising event with Feed Ontario. In years past, we've done a drive with the for toys with the firefighters, and we decided to do something with have everybody from Ontario be able to participate. And as you can see here, we raised $21,783. And as Food Ontario conveyed to us, that is the equivalent of providing 65,349 healthy meals for people facing hunger. So I want to really thank everybody out there that participated, including our sponsors and anybody that had their friends, neighbors, relatives participate. I'm sure we'll do that again next year. But again, thank you very much. Very, very successful event, and we're very proud of that. Again, most of you may be aware of this by now, but we're foregoing dues. So anybody that had signed up prior to December 1st and past, we're waiving your dues as they come due. So you get a 1-year extension on basically on your anniversary date, and that's ongoing right now. And anybody that signs up, and then maybe some people on the call, you do have to pay if you're a new member signing up now since December 1st, but you get an extra 1-year extension added. So you're really getting 2 years for the price of one, if you will. And we decided to do that because we haven't really spending money on our social activities, and we haven't been getting together. So we thought we'd give back to you, and we've had some really good feedback about that. So hopefully you're pretty happy with that. Now, I thought I'd talk a little bit about superchargers. Again, anybody that's looking at anything in social media has probably seen there's been all kinds of information on the internet about Tesla's change to the supercharger map. So if you haven't looked, I'd encourage you to go there to the Tesla website under Find Us and go to superchargers, and you can then zoom in. And the ones that are in gray are coming, and the ones that are in red are already in place. And because I've seen a lot of questions out there, I had a phone call with the head of the supercharger team just to ask him what Tesla's strategy is. And I'm sure you'd all agree that this map has stayed static, year after year. They might change it once a year, and the gray is where they expected a supercharger location to be. But now going forward, some of those gray icons have been removed, and there's been some new ones put in. Now, what they asked me to explain, and we'll try to get more of an official position soon, but the ones that have been removed, it doesn't mean that's permanent. It just means they're not imminent. They don't have any actual ongoing plans or permitting or whatever to get that underway. So they decided to take those off before they can actually give a rough timeline. When you do click on, this is done interactive, but when you do click on the gray icon, it'll then open up, give you the idea of the location, and it'll say expected opening Q1 2021 or Q3 2021 or 2022, that type of thing. And he did say we know what Tesla time is all about, but Tesla is certainly going to really try to endeavor to keep this map up to date, if not quarterly, certainly a couple times a year, and try to keep those timelines as best as they can. I did speak to him about the fact that there's, a fair amount of interest in ones in the Kawarthas and Eastern Ontario and whatnot, and they're well aware of that. And anybody that's followed us and had been on our meetings before, there's a lot of things that are beyond Tesla's control when it comes to supercharger. But I can tell you, they're really working hard to continue to expand the network, and it's probably one of the biggest advantages we've got over any other electric vehicle manufacturers out there. So have a look at the map, get up to speed on it, and again, look on social media if you want some feedback from other people that have talked about it. Online clothing store. Paul, who's helping me run this meeting, it's a bane in our side here. As you probably saw in the last meeting, we actually showed you some sample items. Tesla's going to restrict us to 6 or 7 items. You can see here at the top, this is the old logo. This is what the new logo looks like at the bottom. And the challenge we've got is the new logo does not print very well when you want to make it into an embroidery, so into a patch and physically embroider it rather than just do a heat seal or something like that on clothing. So we just got the approval from Tesla as we speak, they say a couple of hours ago, to modify the logo slightly to change the size of the font and things like that so that we can physically do the embroidery and get some really nice half decent items. So we expect a jacket, a couple of long sleeve shirts, a beanie, hats, things like that. And hopefully we'll have more news. I know we keep on saying this, but more news for you by next month. Okay, so we're going to now go to Pfaff Autoworks. I'm going to share on the next screen for you to log into Pigeonhole. Pigeonhole, we recommend you either put it on another screen on your computer or put it onto your phone. It's a way that you can ask questions. So I'll ask questions as we go along, as you type them in, and you can rank those questions if you like them and think that they should be a higher priority than other ones. And I'll ask them on behalf of the club to the people at Pfaff. And they've got a really exciting presentation for us here. As you can see, this is what they're going to walk through. You've got some vehicles that are taken apart. They're in for repairs. They're going to show us. But if you have any other questions for me or for the club, again, please use the Pigeonhole app. It's a lot easier than having to unmute people and that type of thing. So let's see what we've got here on the next page. So there you go. So if you go to pigeonhole.at/Tesla, all you require so that we can identify you is your first name. And as you think of things that you want to ask us, you can type them into the app, and I'll have the app open here, and we'll ask those questions when we think there's a appropriate time. So without further ado, Paul's going to help me here. We're going to stop screen sharing here with me in a minute, and we're going to hand off this over to the people at Pfaff. So again, welcome everybody. Good talking to you.
Okay, welcome everyone to Pfaff Autoworks. Happy New Year to you all. My name is Ryan Herdman. I'm the manager of Pfaff Autoworks. Have been the manager here since we moved to this location here in Vaughan. We moved here in June of 2013. I've done many group tours, big and small. The first one I've ever done virtually, so this is a little different for me, but just to let everyone know, so we are certified to repair Volkswagen, Audi, BMW, Porsche, McLaren, obviously Tesla. Very recently, we also acquired certifications for Nissan Infiniti and Honda Acura as well as Dodge Chrysler FCA brand vehicles. So we do have a lot of certifications under our belt, and we have about 45 staff here in total, all with various training for different manufacturers. We have repair planner estimators and myself that are trained for all of the brands under that umbrella that we have. So you might see a lot of different makes and models through here when we're going through the tour, all of which we are certified to repair. If we do not have a certification for the vehicle, we will not repair that vehicle. And that is strictly because we need to be sure that we are repairing that vehicle back to factory specifications or manufacturer specifications. So in the case of any of your Teslas, if they decide to come to us for repairs, you can rest assured that we have the training, the tooling, technology, etc., to repair your vehicle the way that Tesla would want it repaired. Being that we are a Tesla repair facility, there are certain things that separate us from shops that aren't. We have to have certain ED systems in place. Right now, we're in contracts with a company to have superchargers outside. That way, come spring of this year, when a Tesla owner might pick up their vehicle will be charged and ready to go once it's been repaired. And we have the same capability to charge the vehicles inside because, as vehicles coming here for repairs, we need to make sure that we maintain battery levels so that the battery doesn't fall below a certain percentage, and we can maintain the health of the vehicle while it's in here for repairs. So part of our process when it comes to repairing a Tesla or any vehicle for that matter, it will go through various stages of production. The first being it'll actually come in and we will actually wash the car. We clean the car to make sure it's free of any environmental contaminants. That can affect how the vehicle looks and how the quality of the paint finish comes out at the end. So we want to make sure that the vehicle is clean. It also helps us to identify any prior damage or any accident-related damage that maybe even the owner wasn't aware of at the time. So once we do that, the next thing is actually we'll get handed off to our mechanical technician. This is something that is a little bit not that new, but it's a little bit new in the fact that some body shops don't, and still to this day, do not have mechanical techs in their facility, and they have to sublet everything out to a mechanical shop. As you guys probably know, with your vehicles, there's a lot of technology in that car, and it's super important to make sure that we have a mechanical tech on site. One of our mechanical techs is actually an ex-Tesla mechanical tech who came to us, and as soon as we knew of his experience, we hired him immediately because we wanted to have his experience with Tesla at our facility. And, we want to make sure that we do a diagnostic scan on that car to make sure that there's any faults that we can't visually identify that might affect the drivability or safety of that vehicle. From that point forward, a trained body tech will be involved in disassembling the vehicle, and alongside him will be a repair planner who will actually document the file. He'll take pictures step by step of every part that comes off that car and create an itemized repair estimate to submit to an insurance company or a customer for that matter. And then, so as a customer coming in here, the first question that customers ask us when they drop off their car is, when is my car going to be done? And, it's funny because everyone always wants to know naturally because they're trying to plan their lives and their work schedules and things of that nature. But that's a question that we will never be able to tell you at the beginning. It's something we have to tell you once that process is complete, when the vehicle has been disassembled. We know what the estimate is. So at that point, we know what parts we need to order. We can then place the order, get confirmation from Tesla when those parts are scheduled to arrive. And we also have the total labor hours on that repair, so we can calculate how long that car is going to take for us to repair. We are measured by different manufacturers on cycle time, which is exactly that. That's going to tell you when your car is going to be back to you, and it's how long the car is here for during repairs. It's a constant thing that we are working on to try and make sure that cars are repaired as quickly as possible and they're back on the road. I can tell you that on average, for our facility, our cycle time is 13 days. So it's just under 2 weeks. And part of the reason for that is, some customers, like you said, like I was saying, you bring your vehicle, you want to know when your car is going to be ready, and you might call in and you're going to find out, we haven't started repairs yet. Well, it's not that we haven't started repairs yet. There's so much research that goes into it when it comes to that disassembly portion of it, and when it comes to building that repair plan. We want to make sure, just as you want to make sure that your vehicle is repaired exactly the way it should be, the way that Tesla would repair that vehicle, and it's following those manufacturer repair procedures. You're going to see a little later when I pass it over to Alex, a Model Y that we have here that is it's very much repair plan. There are pieces of the car that are missing, and you'll be able to see how thick the repair procedures are on that car. We've pulled over 15 different repair procedures specifically on this one repair alone. And so depending on the extent of the damage, that will determine how much repair procedures, how long that process takes to actually create that repair plan. Yeah, without further ado, I will pass it over to Alex, who this is one car that just so happens to be in our facility at this time that we thought would be an excellent car to show you guys and do a little education seminar on. So,
ready, Alex?
Yep.
So when the vehicle is disassembled and we have disabled the battery and we started work on it, we usually put barriers around the vehicle so that people don't touch it, especially if people don't know the vehicles, don't know how they work, don't know what's involved. So this particular vehicle, we are going to be replacing some of the inner structure, and you can see that we have identified some of the ultra high strength steel on the inside, and we have mild steel on the outside, which is the skin. And this car has gone to a unfortunate damage where a tree fell on it and it has crashed the pillars and the roof molding. Also, I was going to show you that when we go through a repair process, we establish a repair procedures. We print them at the time of the repair because they're current to the manufacturer specifications. And at the same time, we're going to verify all the parts that are necessary, build an estimate, and inquire, availability. And once it's all approved by the insurance, we place our order and we just wait. Usually 3 to 5 days, everything's available. And if it's not, we usually give a phone call or they'll contact us, and they'll be able to source parts from either a different depot or maybe a dealer that has some sitting on the shelf. So it's very accommodating that way. This is a Model Y. As you know, this is a newer model. You can kind of see this has changed a little. You can see where the battery control cover is. Over here we have the high voltage controller, the chargers underneath, and the DC to DC controllers also underneath, which is pretty interesting because it streamlines production for them. As well as something new that you will see right here, you can see how much of this vehicle is a cast. And I've seen this before where there's pictures online, they show this to you. But here you can actually see the cast piece right here live and how it's actually seated in the car. It's very interesting because it's one of the fewer manufacturers that are going this way, which probably streamlines production a lot. And, it's a little different for repair. There's procedures for repairing any of these sections. There's pieces you can buy. Again, you have to be a certified facility because when you go to order those parts, they're restricted. So something else I'm going to show you is how we deal with these vehicles and some of the tooling required. So the main thing is usually when you have a repair that is below the vehicle and there's structural damage or damage to the battery, we have to take the battery off, and we have just approved, and this is actually supplied by one of their manufacturers. It's a battery table, and Model S and X have a different battery than Model 3 and Y. And when we have to take that battery, we have to change the whole top. It has different openings for different battery access holes to be able to drop it properly. And that also allows us to level this with the vehicle underneath by these legs, which is very important because you really don't want to be trying to do this with a forklift. So that's very important. Some of the tools that we have to buy and procure from Tesla from the factory. For example, this is a front subframe. You need this tool to be able to jack it up properly, not to damage anything, not to scratch it. You know, it has E-code, but tooling like this, and then it's adaptable to a different subframe once you take this off. So they really thought about some of the things that make, you know, these tools very unique and adaptable to different vehicles. So you can go from rear to the front right away with this top jig. So it's really cool. So there's a lot of tooling that we had to procure to work on certain models, and it's part of what Tesla mandates, which is great because that helps us as well. Because when we're taking the car apart, we have the procedure, we read it, it tells you, okay, take this tool, take that apart, or you need this tool, and I have it in my database, and it's kind of laid out in the toolbox. So it's very good. Something we also use to, let's say, pull the frame or repair some of the mild steel is a bench set up like this. As you can see, for example, this is an Audi, but it gives you an idea how the car sits on posts that go into the manufacturing suspension bolt folds, and allows us to, like a factory, pull and repair any of the panels, just like the procedure tells you. You really don't want to try and do this like the old style, like you know, squeezing the pinch welds and trying to pull this apart. These cars are not built for that. They're completely different design. Another interesting vehicle I can show you is a Model X. We're doing a complete repair on a rear door. Something you don't see the skeleton of the door, but it's really interesting to see what's the mechanism behind this that pivots the whole door and how the roof is structured. Over here, you can see it's all cast aluminum, including right here where the roof line is. It's all cast, and they have these power shocks that basically do the articulation that you see when the door opens up. It's very interesting to see how intricate this is and how well thought it is, because it really it reinforces. This is all reinforced. All these sections have like little subsections that are reinforcing this. And this takes on a lot of weight, so it's pretty interesting because you got the whole door plus the glass and everything else on top of it, and it holds all together and it works seamlessly. So thank you very much. If you guys have any questions for me or Ryan.
Yeah, I guess so. The last part of our presentation, we just kind of wanted to go through and show you. We've got one of our cars over here that was the last car painted today. But I just wanted to kind of walk through and show you what our paint booths look like, and talk to you a little bit about some of the technology that's coming, some of the technology that's already here that's in use at this facility. Right now we are using Glazert 90 line. It is produced by BASF, who is an approved supplier for. They have the most approvals of any paint supplier out there. So Glazert 90 line is basically a very high line paint, and there's something that we're using right now in today's world that helps to speed up the paint process. So right now what we have is, and produced by BASF, is called UV primer. So what this is it's a primer that you can apply. It's a little different than regular primer in that regular primer, you'd have to put it in your spray, you'd have to put it in their spray gun, they'd be applying it to the car, and they would have to let that cure usually overnight in some cases, sometimes take a couple hours. The UV primer, in some climates, Canada's a little bit different. In some climates, shops can just push the car outside because they can utilize the direct sunlight. With life in Canada, especially now, we don't have much sunlight, but we do have UV lights, and it allows that primer to dry in 20 minutes. So there's a little work to do on the front end as far as sanding and masking, but once you prime that car, it's a few applications of that UV primer, and in 20 minutes that is dry. You can then put it in the paint booth. You can see this few set in here. We've painted both sides of it, and looks pretty good. No paint job, whether it comes from the factory or it's done by us, is going to be absolutely perfect. But we want to try and strive for 95%. And so this car, in my opinion, will meet that standard. It's going to come through. We've got 2 full-time polishers that will take out any little imperfections in the car because, you know, we're a facility that primarily focuses on high-end luxury cars. And Tesla falls into that category, and we want to make sure that every single car that comes out here, it looks like glass, like showroom condition when we're done. So the next thing that'll let you know about when it comes to paint is by the end of this month, it's January 28th it's scheduled for. We are going from Glazert 90 line to a new product. It's just been released. It's only been testing right now in a few facilities for about 3 months, and it's called Glazert 100 line. And I had the opportunity to go and visit a shop who was kind enough to let us in, even though there was COVID protocols going on, and we got to witness the 100 line in action. And the best part about 100 line is, again, when it comes to paint, it's all about efficiency and speed. Quality is always a focus, but that's more of a painter issue than a paint issue in how it's applied. But the Glazert 100 line, we got to see it, and just like the UV primer, how it's dry in 20 minutes, when typically we're using 90 line right now, that paint is going to take, from the time it's loaded in, the painter takes his base coat, he's got to wait till it flashes off, then he's got to apply and come in and do a clear coat, and then bake the car so that it's dry and it can be polished. That process usually takes about 45 minutes on average, depending on how big the size of the job is that he's painting. With 100 line, you have to, I'll go back for a second. With 90 line, he could actually paint this car and just start painting the fender, painting the door, and keep going like this. With 100 line, it dries so fast that he has to paint 1 panel at a time. And he can do a car, base coat, clear coat, and that job is done in 20 minutes. So that's going to speed up efficiency and allow us to get cars painted more efficiently and get the car repaired and back to the customer quicker. The other advantage and best part about 100 line is its environmental factor. So it actually, VOCs stands for volatile organic compounds. So basically that's anything from a liquid or a solid that turns into a gas that is organic and can be harmful to the environment or to an individual. And with 100 line, they've reduced their VOC output by 40%. So it's way more healthy for a shop environment, but also for the outside environment where these chemicals are being released. So definitely an improvement, and we're looking forward to using that and being able to apply that to our cars and to our business. So yeah, that's the update on paint for you. And I think that will conclude our virtual tour.
Does anybody have any questions? Alex is actually a Tesla owner, so I think we can put him on the spot a little bit if you want to.
What model do you have, Alex?
I have a Model S with a nose cone.
Yeah. Okay. Surprisingly enough, I'm looking at the questions here. There's not too many specifically about the body shop, but one person is asking, I don't know if you can determine this, how new was that Model Y with the cast frame? It must be a fairly new one, because I believe that some of them didn't have that, the first builds.
This one I think is about 3 or 4 months new.
Okay. But if, just to reiterate for everybody, that was the area that was light gray on that when you were showing us the car. That's a whole one-piece casting that we actually heard about from Tesla when we were at their Vaughan facility. They were talking about.
Yeah.
When we have a quick look at that.
Actually excited. That's pretty interesting. Take a look at it again.
I think everybody forgets, Tesla is so innovative in all the electrification, but there's an awful lot of other innovations that are pretty phenomenal that Tesla has put in place.
Well, Model Y and Model 3 have aluminum doors, but the body is mild steel. So they do a combination. Tailgate's also aluminum, and I believe the hood is. So there's a lot of weight reduction. and all the cast pieces are also aluminum. So you have a combination of steel, aluminum, ultra high strength steel, and high strength steel, and they use rivets and glue to basically keep all that together in between the layers, so there's no oxidation happening or any chemical reactions. Porsche's been doing it for years, and so is Audi, and they've done a really nice job out of this. You can see them multi-layers.
Show us the cast frame again. Just scan down with your camera there. So it's the lighter gray. All of that is one piece, correct?
Yeah. It goes all the way out here.
Yeah. Pretty amazing.
Actually, this is a 12 volt out of the battery. It goes right away to the front to the 12 volt battery, and then goes to the rest of the system.
Another question. This is a question for me. I think I was speaking to Lawrence. That you have at least 10 or 12 Teslas there right now. Is that correct?
Right, Ryan can speak to this.
Yeah, I think I think it's not uncommon for us to have anywhere from 8 to 10 Teslas at a time. We for whatever reason right now we have more McLarens than we've ever had here at one time, and last week we had more Teslas than we had at any one time. We had 15 here in the shop. I think right now we have about 8 on the ground, but yeah, it just so happened we ended up with these amount of cars at that one time. So
No, Neville has raised his hand. I'm not sure. Neville, are you not using Pigeonhole? It's awkward to have to unmute people here, but I'm going to unmute you, Neville.
Thank you. Sorry about that. I was just wondering, where are you guys physically? Where is your location?
Yeah, so we are at 214 Portland Avenue in Vaughan, which is basically nearest intersection is Jane and Langstaff. Sorry? Oh, well, yeah, and we, it's going to be June of this year. We have a second location that's opening up in Markham. It's going to be off of Laidlaw and Bullock, near just down the street, actually, from our BMW Town and Country dealership there. So that's exciting for us. That's going to be our second location, and it's actually a slightly larger facility than the one we have here. So
Somebody's asked here, do you have the ability to do paintless dent repair?
So we do offer that service. We don't, at this time, we don't have someone that physically does it in-house, but we do work closely with a team of dent repair specialists that are basically here, fairly often, at least 2 or 3 times a week. So
if someone was looking to do that on their Tesla, should they contact you and you would pass them on, or?
Yep, they could contact us, and we would schedule an appointment for the paintless dent repair technician to come and visit us at the same time of that appointment, so that he could assess the car and give us a proper estimate. So,
okay, great. Now I'm going to answer some of this question, but do you guys have any opinion about PPF? So it seems, I'm not sure about some of the other vehicles you sell or repair, but there's a lot, my own cars included, a lot of Tesla owners put PPF on their vehicles. So someone is asking, can you do PPF after you had the vehicle for a year? Now, I'll answer that really quickly. I've done that before. Yes, you can, and they'll prepare the car and the paint. But of course, any imperfections that are there either have to be repaired or they'll be sealed under the PPF. It's always best to get the vehicle done as soon as possible. But this person is saying, it was upvoted by 3 people. They're thinking that PPF might not be worth it because of the cost of replacing the PPF after the vehicle is repaired if there's a major hit or something.
Well, so 2 things about that. The paint protective film, as we know, is definitely a good option at protecting your vehicle from stone chips and scuffs and things like that. Because we've had cars come in here where it looks like there might be paint damage, and where we've actually just been able to peel off the protective film, and there's nothing, and there's no damage underneath. So depending on the severity of the collision, you may end up being better off that you had the PPF, because you've avoided having a greater expense of painting the bumper and having to overhaul the bumper and take parts off and possibly replace parts. You know, when it comes to, you know, insurance replacement through PPF, well, you know, if you've got it on the car and you're in an accident, it goes through insurance, that's a cost the insurance company is going to cover anyway. So that wouldn't be passed on to the customer unless they were paying out of pocket. And the last thing is, we do offer paint protected film in-house. We use Expel is the brand that we use, and Alex is our installer actually. So aside from being the parts manager, he also does the application himself, and he's done it for all the vehicles that we are certified to repair for Porsche, McLaren, Tesla. All these vehicles, he will do it here, and he can talk more about that if people have questions about it, for sure.
Yeah.
Are you guys certified by Expel?
Yes, we are. I'm working with Expel over 6 years. Before they even came to Canada, I was with 3M, but I do prefer Expel. They have really good film, good coverage, good warranty. It doesn't yellow like some other films do. So I'd rather spend a little more money on the good stuff because I like the quality, and I feel it's good to pass on to the customer.
And do you use the computer cut machine?
Yeah, everything's computer cut. I don't believe in cutting on the car. You know, there's no 100% that you can say that you're not going to break through the film and cut the paint. So if the technology is out there, why not use it? You know? So also, Expel offers ceramic coatings for interior as well, plus paint, wheels. They've really stepped up, and there's a lot of products out there right now. There's matte film. You can really customize. And I think from everything I've seen, they have the best software for cutting film. Nobody comes close. So, you know, at least this way, I know I pay a little bit more, but the quality is the best.
Okay, I knew we were going to get asked this because it comes up all the time. There's all kinds of information all over the internet about Tesla having softer than normal paint. And this person said that they were told that about BMW as well. Do you have any opinion, guys, on Tesla's paint compared to the other vehicles you work on?
Yeah, I'll answer that question. Yeah, I mean, it's not surprising to me that question, has come up because, naturally we deal a lot with Tesla owners coming in here. But as far as a difference between manufacturer to manufacturer, it's not a difference that I can really point out and say, yeah, this is a poor quality paint or this is a better quality paint. As I said when I was talking with the in the paint booth there, the Glazer at 90 line brand and now 100 line brand is approved by all those manufacturers by the most. They have the most approvals of any paint line, and you can probably Google it and just to see how many manufacturers are actually approved with BASF and their Glazer lineup. So they're all using the same products at the end of the day to refinish their vehicles. So I wouldn't say that there's a real credible issue there as far as evidence of one being not as good as another manufacturer. So.
Well, this person's also asking, is there any evidence that this new 100 brand is any harder than the standard paint from the factory?
Is the 100 line stuff any harder than the paint that comes from the factory?
No, actually. So, and specifically with Tesla. So when it comes to painting a vehicle at the manufacturing facility, they are able to paint those vehicles. They're able to bake those vehicles and heat those vehicles to a higher degree, to a higher temperature than we are physically able to here, or that any non-manufacturer shop is able to do. And specifically with anything that is electric, Tesla being one of those, there is a limit to how high the temperature can go in the paint booth, how hot you can bake the car at. And the reason for that is because of the electrical and because of the battery. Once you get to a certain temperature, you risk damage to those components. So for us, well, I should say for Tesla, it's 165 degrees or 74 degrees Celsius. And, I can tell you from our paint booths here, we don't bake a vehicle beyond 130 degrees Celsius. So it never even comes close to that level. So it's not something we're too concerned about. But as far as the difference between 100 line to 90 line and manufacturer being harder or softer, it's going to be the same. It's going to be the same quality. It's just that a lot of times we feel that the vehicle's paint maybe is a bit stronger from factory, and it might be slightly. It's just because of the way that the factory can actually produce that vehicle and bake it at a higher temperature than we can. So that's where that difference may come in there.
Okay, great. Somebody's asking, is there any job that's considered too small? So for example, would you fix and repaint a front bumper with normal chips and wear and tear? Just the bumper itself.
Yeah, so I definitely there's no repair too small. I had a customer show up who just picked up, his 2020 model, and he had it for about a month, and he had a chip on his hood, and it was something where he had, like many of us, he's worked so long and he's spent so much money on this car, and this was his pride and joy, and he was so upset that he had this one stone chip. And things like that, oftentimes I look at it more about helping someone rather than, okay, well, I'm going to have to charge you something and I need to make money. Something like that, I was able to have the car for the day, and we were able to touch it up, put a little bit of clear on it, let it dry. We polished it. Then we did that process again. We did it 2 or 3 times. So by the time it was done, naturally it's not perfect because you haven't done a full refinish, but it was pretty close to the point where he was really impressed. He was really happy, and he ended up coming back because he ended up, unfortunately for him, he ended up having an accident, and he had to make an insurance claim. But those are the things that we like to do kind of as customer service gestures for people. And yeah, so to answer that question, there's nothing that we would do that is, too small for us. And to that end, there's nothing that's too big for us either. We've had very, this one is one of them, but we've had repair bills total, over $100,000 in repair bills for parts and labor on cars. Yeah, there's nothing that's too big or too small. It's just about time and
Well, and I would just add, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but not that long ago, Tesla introduced what they will sell a fully painted bumper and put it on for you at their facility. So I don't know how that compares to someone like you guys taking the bumper off and refinishing it, but Tesla will actually sell a replacement bumper that's already painted and just throw it on the car for you. So I'm not sure if you can address that, but it's certainly something to consider as a member of our club.
Yeah. So what you're saying is
I've seen the part numbers on the catalog, but I haven't seen them push them out yet. So
They are there. I know it's been done, Alex. I know for
mirrors painted, all kinds of other things, door handles, but I haven't seen them actually sell them yet. It's like they don't allow me to add them to my bucket. Let's put it this way.
Well, maybe they're only doing it themselves. I'm not sure, but I do know
it's possible.
I was at I think it was Lawrence or somewhere, or Railside, and they had some on the wall in different colors. And I am aware of a couple of people who've had it replaced, but it's just something to keep up in the back of everybody's mind. Sorry, I'm just going to go through this here. Someone was wondering, can you comment at all on what percentage of jobs ultimately end up being a write-off that you see on a Tesla?
Percentage of write-off? Specific to Tesla, it's very minimal, actually. I think overall, I would say, our percentage of vehicles that come through our facility that are total loss is about 15%. But when it comes to Tesla, out of that percentage, it's probably, I'm going to say maybe 1%, if anything. And some of that has to do with, most of the makes and models that we see here and the age of those makes and models. So most of the cars that come in here are about 3 years new. Whereas, some other facilities might see some older model vehicles, which, might make their total loss percentage a little bit higher than ours. But yeah, the majority of our vehicles, are not written off. And Tesla, I'm going to my memory in the years we've been Tesla certified, I'm going to say maybe one or two out of a whole bunch. So yeah, it's a very low number that end up being total loss.
How long have you been Tesla certified?
We've been Tesla certified for about three and a half years.
Okay. Okay.
Also, if I can add to that, something that I really like about Tesla, their body parts are not expensive compared to any German vehicle we work on. Sometimes a fraction of the cost. So they're easily repairable. It would be hard to total one, I think, because the parts aren't that expensive. Even glass roofs, the size of them, you think they'd be super expensive. They're not. They're actually cheaper than a windshield on a Porsche, maybe sometimes.
Alex, can you comment? We've heard in the past, this is a question for me, but I think everybody would be interested on parts availability. There's concerns in the past it was taking so long to repair vehicles because it was hard to physically get the parts. Do you think that's improved?
Definitely has improved. Their network has changed. They have more depots now. And sometimes they will reach out to me and they'll connect to a dealer nearby that has stock, because every service center has their own stock, and they'll just ship me from there. So if I see that I haven't received it in 5 days, I'll just contact them, and they're always helping me source it from somewhere else because they have them in different stock locations. I just can't see them, but it shows me when it's in stock or if it's on back order, and I just give it a day, and then I just call them back. And once the order's been accepted through their system, they'll reroute it from some other depot, and then I can see my tracking number, and then I just wait for FedEx. And recently the delays are mostly FedEx, not even. It's got nothing to do with Tesla.
And do you deal with people here in Toronto, or do you have to deal with people in Fremont?
I deal with Fremont because they have like a central hub that deals with parts and technical issues,
Okay.
and they will themselves contact everybody else.
Okay. Paul, am I missing anything? I think we covered most of the body shop questions here. That's about it, guys. So appreciate it very much. I don't know if Lawrence is still around, but thank him very much for sort of encouraging this. We appreciate it. We appreciate your time. I know it's probably after hours for you guys, and you've only got 2 minutes to get home before the curfew, guys. Like, well, not the curfew, but you have to close the clock, don't you?
Exactly.
But again, thanks very much. If anything else comes up, sometimes there's questions after the fact, we'll email you.
Yeah, by all means, we'd be happy to answer them.
So thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys. I'll just answer some of these other questions as we go along here and before we finish up. So somebody asked, and it was 4 people voted, what do we think about the Teslas, how they'll respond to the NHTSA recall report and the failure of MCU in older SNX vehicles? Would you know how many people were affected in Ontario, and what is TOCO's position? First of all, I just saw something on the way here today that the Tesla is not responding to it. It's not an official recall yet. Apparently, they have not responded to this, and make it sound like they don't feel it's an issue. I will say, I obviously got to be a bit diplomatic what I say myself, but there's a lot of people that I know personally in the club that got issues with their MCUs. I hear about it worldwide. Tesla's changed their position on replacing the screen, replacing the chip, getting rid of the yellow lines with the ultraviolet light and whatnot. I don't think it's going to go away. We really can't have an official position because I don't know what Tesla's position is. I know right now I'm working with a couple of members who've got some concerns, and they've addressed them to me, and I pass them on to people at Tesla and try to be a bit of an intermediary. So we'll continue to do that. And I would stress that we are here to help you. I mean, the channel should be for you to go to Tesla yourself, deal with them locally, your service manager, your service advisor, whoever you're dealing with. But if you feel something needs to be escalated, feel free to contact us, but you need to give us, extra details with your VIN, et cetera, no matter what the issue is, whether it's your MCU or anything else. And then we will intervene and speak to the regional service people ourselves and see if we can mediate, if you will, or get it, have a bit more attention paid. And if it's really necessary, the odd time we've been able to escalate things to Fremont. Hopefully that doesn't happen too much, but it is one of the benefits of the club that you have as being a member. Again, going down in order here, will there be any future presentation for Tesla solar roof and batteries for the home? I've actually asked Tesla about that. The problem is they are not officially, they don't have anybody within Tesla that's a Canadian employee that's heading up Tesla Energy yet. So you've probably seen there has been some electrical companies that have installed power walls, and somehow they have the ability to do that. I don't really know how it works, but Tesla themselves are not officially selling them here. The plan was to eventually have power walls and solar and whatnot at their facilities, but that hasn't happened. So I'm not sure the priority, but certainly it's on the radar. And as soon as we find out, we'll stay on top of it. And I would agree that we'd probably make a great presentation. So we'll certainly stay on top of that if we can. What else we got here? Overnight test drive. I think it is available technically, but the problem is now with the lockdown, they are only allowing 10-minute drives. So I guess I just answered myself. They won't allow an overnight drive right now. If the lockdown changes, they may get back to that. So if you could contact Jamie directly from that email I sent to you. She's actually, it's a female. She's the Eastern Regional Sales and Delivery Manager. And it's pretty unusual for her to give her email out. So you can correspond with her. And if you're getting any concern or it's not being paid attention to, again, email me or us at info out or my address, and we'll try to address that. But I think they're restricted a little bit right now because of the lockdown. Replacement masks and filters. Replacement filters for the masks. I can't remember the name of the company we got them from, but Paul, if you just make a note to remind me about that, I'll find it and maybe we'll throw it into an email or something. I know you can order the filters, but I think they have to be bulk ordered in groups of 10 or 20 or something like that. But
no, you can actually get them on Amazon. They're not that expensive.
Can you?
Just look up, search for PM 2.5, and there's a whole bunch of them.
Okay, perfect. So it doesn't have to necessarily be from our supplier.
Right.
Best way to put in a change request. You help to have stop sign and red light detection incorporated in driver assistance. Again, you can email me that. I'll pass it on to Tesla. We don't have a direct channel really anymore for recommendations other than trying to tweet Elon directly. But if there's something that's of interest, I'll pass it on to my contact at Tesla in Fremont, and we can see what happens. We had a thermal incident on our 2020 where a car beside us caught on fire and melted some of the front side. We inquired about a 2021 Model 3 and found out there was a 20,000 plus difference. I'm not sure what that means. I'm not aware of any major price increases. So unless you're looking at going from a Model 3 SR to an all-wheel drive or something, there's not that much of a difference in the Model 3s. So again, email me directly if you have some concerns about that, and I can try to follow up on that with you. No idea on Cybertruck. Again, there is the odd time you get a little bit of inside information, like new superchargers coming out, like you've seen in some of the contests. But truthfully, we don't find out stuff much earlier or any really time frame ahead of you guys, frankly. How can we volunteer for end of quarter deliveries or other opportunities? We did that once. It went quite well. It was a real zoo at the time up at the airport. We've offered it again. Tesla didn't take us up on that. And it seems that it's not been top of mind right now. So if something like that happens again, we'll certainly keep you aware of it, but it's not on the radar. Do recent Model Y owners have a boombox speaker? Any word on retrofits? Again, I'm not sure. I believe that the vehicles being delivered now do have that. Retrofit, they're saying it might be able to be done if the wiring harness is there, but not the speaker, or vice versa. Again, I'd look on Twitter. People have been sending a tweet to Elon, and he said they're working on that. But I have seen on social media many people asking their local service center, and they say it's not available. So it may depend on how new the vehicle is. You could maybe put a service request in and ask that through the app. Destination charger, how do you get an update on to the map? Again, just send me an email and I'll see if I can forward that on to you. I'm missing anything else here? Sorry, guys, I'm just scrolling through this.
Last question that I see is if someone needs to update their address within.
Yeah, I answered that within the but if you're looking to update your mailing address, just send it to me or to marketing at TeslaOwnersClub.ca, and we'll make sure it gets updated for staying in touch with you, sending things out and whatnot. But I think that's about it. So appreciate your time. We're a little over an hour here on the screen right now. Thank you to all our sponsors. We have had some sponsors renew with us. We've got, as I say, more to come. There's one sponsor apparently that we've got an invoice out to that you'll see coming on. They're actually in the insurance business, but we'll wait and reveal that until we find out, once we get payment. But there is a new sponsor coming on. We have, I think, somewhere between 4 and 5 others that are showing a lot of interest in becoming a sponsor. And we are going to look at those and try to make sure we vet them and bring them on where we can. So stay tuned on that. We are still endeavoring to get, I know we keep on talking about it. It's Groundhog Day, like a lot of things, but we keep on talking about the trash bins at the superchargers. I've been given a new contact at Fremont. There's somebody that's on the supercharger team. I guess some other clubs have taken up this initiative as well, sort of copied us. And it's not high on their radar, but they are looking at it even as a company, I think, readdressing their whole policy. But I've been corresponding with this lady and given her another 6 or 8 locations that we'd like to put trash bins in, and we'll try to keep you up to speed on that. We certainly have the funds to do that. Sub-chapters. We have somebody that's really accelerated things in Kitchener-Waterloo. We're going to be confirming all that next week when we have a director executive meeting. So we'll get back to you on that. And Daniel, if you're still on here, we should probably talk about getting going up in Ottawa. It's a little bit tougher, the sub-chapter, when you can't have in-person meetings, but we can certainly talk about getting going on sub-chapters and getting things in place. But that's about it. That's all I've got. Again, I want to thank Pfaff. I'm not sure if anybody's still on, but thank them for coming on and doing this. We are working on some other guest speakers coming up. We're going to, if we can, we'll certainly try to do a Zoom meeting every month as long as we can have content that's worthwhile. We've talked about, it's a little bit harder to organize, but maybe having one with different topics and having breakout rooms that you go into and talk about certain things, whether it be new owners or by model or road tripping and that kind of thing. And I can't promise it, but we're certainly working on things like that. And, definitely in our plans, if and when, not if, but when we come out of this darn COVID thing, we'll want to try to get back to doing some sort of a barbecue. Vaughn has already volunteered when we can get together socially their facility to do a barbecue. So hopefully that'll be in the summer or the fall. And we've got some other ideas that we want to get cracking and do again for our social activities. So anything else? That's about it. Again, if you don't follow us on social media, please do. And I'm always accessible by email, jdixon@TeslaOwnersClub.ca or info@TeslaOwnersClub.ca. And hopefully I can help you out with anything you've got. And if not, we'll pass it on to other people within the club or at Tesla. And that's really all I've got, folks. So how many people are still on here, Paul? I can't see. Oh, still got 89 people. So that's great. So thanks very much. Appreciate it. And everybody stay safe. And hopefully we'll come out of this soon. Thanks a lot, folks. Happy New Year.